Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Eye with your host, The Eye. Today, we take off on a very new series, the first episode of Deep State Chronicles. This will be a deep dive into the hidden machinery of power that many believe has run America and much of the world for decades. This isn't tabloid speculation or partisan mudslinging. This is a continuing series that peels back the layers, episode by episode, to examine the most persistent and explosive conspiracy theory of our time, the existence of a deep state, a permanent, unelected network of intelligence operatives, career bureaucrats, global financiers, media gatekeepers, and elite insiders who operate above the law, beyond elections, and against the will of the people. We begin not with dusty history books or vague warnings from presidents past, but with the latest bombshells still reverberating through our online forums, Telegram channels, and alternative media as of March 2026. The long-awaited, multi-million-page release of the Jeffrey Epstein files. According to the theorists who have tracked this story for years, these documents don't merely expose one financier's depravity, they outline the deep state in real time, its structure, its methods, its immunity protocols, and its transnational reach. Buckle up, folks. This is episode 1. The trigger. What just dropped in early 2026? In January and February 2026, under the second Trump administration, the Department of Justice unsealed what insiders call the final tranche of Epstein-related records: flight logs, emails, visitor manifests, financial transfers, private plane manifests, and internal memos spanning decades. The files confirm what conspiracy communities had long alleged. Epstein wasn't just one lone predator. He was a node in a vast web. Names flood the pages. Former presidents. Bill Clinton logged dozens of flights. Donald Trump's past social ties are referenced but cut off around 2004. British royalty. Prince Andrew's settlements and denials. Billionaires. Peter Thiel seeking investment advice, Howard Lutnick, now Trump's Commerce Secretary, linked to disputed island visits. Academics, Noam Chomsky sharing flights and counsel. Media provocateurs, Steve Bannon pitching Epstein a documentary rehabilitation project, and a constellation of cabinet secretaries, governors, Saudi royals, Norwegian royals, and Indian tycoons. Epstein's own membership in the Trilateral Commission, the elite globalist group founded by David Rockefeller, is explicitly noted. He joined in the 1990s after generous donations. No Illuminati robes, no blood rituals in the files, but plenty of back-channel diplomacy, private jet diplomacy, and mutual protection. QAnon and Pizzagate veterans immediately declared victory. Telegram channels lit up with memes. Q was right. The storm is here. We told you for a decade. One viral post captured the mood. People like me and many others have known this for almost a decade. It's time to admit we were right. Even comedian Bill Maher, no conspiracy ally, went on air and said, in essence, QAnon, you were more right about this than I admitted. How the files outline the deep state, according to the theory. Here's where the conspiracy narrative snaps into focus and why this release is being treated as the ultimate blueprint. Number 1. The compromat control grid. Theorists argue Epstein didn't build his island and Manhattan mansion alone. Intelligence agencies, CIA, Mossad, perhaps others, allegedly supplied girls, cameras, and offshore accounts in exchange for blackmail material on the powerful. The files contain unverified FBI source reports hinting at foreign intel ties and sensitive government building deals Epstein once floated. No smoking gun video of a sitting president surfaces, but the pattern does. Elites keep flying, keep networking, keep escaping consequences. Epstein's 2008 sweetheart plea deal, 13 months with work release, is Exhibit A of deep state protection. When he was finally arrested in 2019, his suicide in Manhattan's Metropolitan Correctional Center, cameras off, guards asleep, is all called the ultimate cleanup. The 2026 files still leave gaps, whole sections redacted, client list partially withheld. To believers, that's not bureaucracy. That's the deep state closing ranks. Number 2, bipartisan, transnational immunity. Notice something crucial. The web crosses party lines, ideologies, and borders. Clinton and Trump, Chomsky and Thiel, Rockefeller Foundations, and Soros-adjacent names appear in mundane contexts. The Guardian's analysis captured the conspiracist point perfectly. The files prove elites live by their own special rules and codes of immunity. They protect one another not because they're all Satanists in a pizza parlor basement, but because mutual self-interest is stronger than any election. A political historian quoted in coverage put it this way: elites receive special treatment, shielded from the rules that are supposed to apply to everyone equally. That shielding mechanism is the deep state, the permanent bureaucracy and intel community that outlasts presidents, kills inconvenient investigations, and ensures the real power structure never faces accountability. 3. The nothing to see here cover-up in real time. Even now, in March 26, with Trump back in office and promising transparency, the full client list remains elusive. Some Trump orbit figures appear in the files. Right-wing influencers who once screamed for release have gone strangely quiet on the parts that implicate their side. Conspiracy radio hosts call this the ultimate proof. The deep state is so embedded that it neuters even populist presidents. Kash Patel's FBI reforms? Blocked. Mass declassifications? Slow-walked. The message from the shadows: we own the files, we own the agencies, and we own the narrative. The bigger picture, what the deep state actually is, per the theory. This is the outline the Epstein files provide. The deep state isn't a smoky room of lizard people, it's a system. Intelligence backbone. CIA, NSA, FBI veterans who rotate into think tanks and private equity carrying compromat and policy scripts. Bureaucratic glue. Career civil servants in the DOJ, state, and the permanent bureaucracy who leak, slow-walk, or sabotage elected outsiders. See Russiagate as precedent. Financial and media overlords. Banks, hedge funds, and legacy media that amplify the conspiracy theorist smear while burying inconvenient names. Globalist nodes. Groups like the Trilateral Commission, Bilderberg, and Davos, where national sovereignty dissolves into elite consensus. Epstein, in this telling, was the perfect middleman, rich enough to play, connected enough to travel, compromised enough to control. His operation allegedly supplied the leverage that keeps wars funded, borders porous, currencies manipulated, and populations distracted. The files don't prove every wild claim, no clone children or adrenochrome factories, but they prove the network exists. And once you see the network, you can't unsee the control. Why this matters now, and why this series exists. As of March 2026, America sits at a crossroads. Midterms loom. Wars simmer. Economic shocks ripple. The Epstein files dropped at the exact moment when trust in institutions is already in freefall. For millions, these documents aren't ancient history, they're the receipt. They explain why promises of drain the swamp keep stalling. They explain why both parties protect the same people. They explain why conspiracy theorists keep being proven right on the pattern, even if the wildest details remain unproven. Critics will call this dangerous nonsense. They'll say the files show only rich perverts protecting rich perverts, prosaic corruption, not a grand cabal. They'll point out that no mass arrests followed the release. Fair points, but the conspiracy community counted